As a realtor out there, do you have a lot of home buyers telling you that they want to hold out and wait for rates to get lower? We hear that a lot too here in mortgage land, of course, too. And one thing I wanted to talk about today is with all the uncertainty in the marketplace, it's very natural for people not to jump on buying opportunity, right? They want to wait for the mark rates to go down and get a better deal, lower a lower housing payment, etc. But as we know, when rates go down, there tends to be a lot of activity in the marketplace. And we're actually seeing a lot of home buyers who purchased in a very active market are struggling right now with equity and payments and certain things like that. Where I find, and historically, I think if you buy when things are a little more uncertain, like such as now, we've seen rates kind of go up and down and a lot of buyers on the fence. Um, One thing you can really take advantage of is seller credits, negotiating home prices, less competition, rate buy downs, things of that nature. And these things you absolutely cannot talk about when we have multiple offers. When you're competing against 10 to 12 buyers, you're not going to be able to negotiate anything. You're crossing your fingers hoping that your highest offer wins. So when we date the rate and marry the house, I'll give you an example. October 2023, 1 out of 6 home purchases fell out of escrow, and rates were almost at 8% that month. It was like one of the highest we've seen in the past, recent years. One of the highest months, and so 1 out of 6 transactions fell out. We had a few, and I had one buyer actually say that the trees made too much of a mess and they fell out of escrow. However, once rates dropped a little bit, a couple months later, we were back in escrow and we closed. And I will tell you this too. I've already refinanced them. We didn't need an appraisal, and we did a really low cost refinance. It was really simple, smooth, took a couple weeks. They saved a couple $100+ a month. So there's a lot of opportunity and a lot to be said for buying in a slower, more uncertain market when sellers are a little more desperate to get a buyer, and you have more negotiating room, and date the rate and marry the house. Because long-term, real estate's a long-term investment. And people refinance, they can refinance every 2 to 7 years oftentimes, depending on what rates are doing. Maybe you have a lot of equity and you want to remove mortgage insurance, or there's all kinds of different reasons. But the one thing I want to focus on today here is, making sure we're educating people on dating the rate and marrying the house. I'm Garrick Wordmuller, Fresh Home Loan. I have these amazing flyers for you. If you're one of our realtor partners and you'd like a co-branded Date the Rate, Marry the House flyer, it is yours. Garrick Wordmuller, Fresh Home Loan, independent mortgage brokers that work for the people.